Hello, I'm Lenny. This is Steve. He's
Hi
a
there.
concertologist and I'm a music therapist. And we like to discuss music topics. And today we're going to discuss who did they listen to? Who did the great guitar heroes and the people like the Beatles, who did they listen to? Well, I was watching Tommy Emmanuel the other day, studying his work. Now, Tommy, do you know Tommy?
Yep.
Okay, Tommy's like a one-man show. He plays percussion with his hand. He plays the bass with the thumb. And then he's playing all the other parts with his fingers. Amazingly. He doesn't sing much, but he's a one-man show. And he learned from Chet Atkins.
Oh, boy. Got that Gretsch guitar out,
I mean,
didn't he?
if you study a particular artist and become like them, for instance, Joe Bonamassa liked who?
Joe liked all Beck, Page, Clapton. He really liked some of the Chuck Berry. He liked a lot of the old guys.
Well, they say that
Robert Johnson.
Robert Johnson. They say that the blues masters from the past, or who, like the Rolling Stones, for instance, just adored the blues guys, and even named their name of their band after them because it was Muddy Waters' Rolling Stone album, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how they got their name, Rolling Stone, which they were really revered them. And if you listen to the Beatles, you know they sound like Little Richard when they howled, woo, and Everly Brothers, their vocals were just so good, just like the Everly Brothers. I mean, there's two of them most of the time, sometimes three. And so they listen to a broad spectrum, Motown, a broad spectrum. So who did they listen to? Mostly of the time, if you track a lot of artists back, it's the blues guys.
It's the blues guys.
Yeah. And you got to think about that. Now, I have a little fun fact here. 1951, Rocket 88. That was considered to be the first rock and roll song ever. 1951. And Ike Turner was in that band. Do you remember the name of the band?
No, I do not.
No. But Rocket 88 was supposedly the first rock and roll song. Of course, that's up to opinion, but when you think about it, it's based on blues again. 12-bar blues, maybe. A lot of songs were. Chuck Berry. I can't hardly listen to that guy because everything he does is 12-bar blues. Run, Run, Rudolph. Oh, Maybelline, you know. It's all 12-bar blues. Except for, I think, My Ding-a-Ling, but I've never really studied that. Can't stand that song. And that knocked out Elvis Presley back in 1972. Burning Love, not Elvis Presley, 1972. Second place Elvis was. And he got knocked out by Chuck Berry's only #1 song, My Ding-a-Ling.
Neil Young, one of the first early bands that he was in, Rick James was the lead singer in his band.
Oh, yeah. Name a song he made popular, Rick James.
Who? Rick? I
Sorry.
can't remember. You put me on a stump.
We'll do that once in a while. We stump each other.
Oh,
See, that's the beauty of us. You know, this is who we
Right.
are. This is who we are. We sit here.
Freaking.
The Freak?
The Freak.
The Freak.
That's right. Rick James did The Freak.
Did he do My Prerogative?
I don't
My
remember that
Prerogative.
one.
Well, anyways, back to Chuck Berry again. Listen to Chuck Berry. And a lot of people, like Keith Richardson, studied some of those guys back then with their riffs, you know. I mean, geez. Chuck Berry, I mean, it's pretty easy stuff if you get right down to it. It's 12-bar.
Think about it. Back to the Future. That's what he was playing to be like Chuck Berry in the movie. Do you remember Back to the Future?
Okay, now is that where he's on stage and he's going back and his mom's out there in the audience? Okay, yeah.
And he's dancing across the stage like.
And they're all.
Yeah, and
because you know why?
That's it.
That was something they've never heard before. It was all new. Way like how many years ahead would that have been? 30 years maybe?
Oh yeah, it was.
It was like a sock hop.
Yeah.
Chuck Berry came along in the what was it? The 60s?
The 50s.
50?
It was late 50s. Yeah.
Okay, well, so it's about 25 years. So you know, it's like a lot of old people. Not us. We handle it, but new music. Some old people cannot handle new music, right, Steve?
That's right.
You know why? Because they don't understand it. Just like in that movie Back to the Future. I mean, really, realistically, that's what it is. So you have to have an open mind. I think today's music is unbelievably great. Well, nobody agrees with me on that. Have you heard Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars and their song?
No.
Man, they're so good in the harmony. See, I love harmony. True, beautiful harmony. And that's what's in this song. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars.
As not to get off topic, but
Well, no,
it
not
was
off
like when I
topic.
was growing up, and my brother, I was a big Rush fan in the 70s, and he said that group wouldn't last 3 to 5 years. And look what happened to them. They were just awesome.
Yeah.
They were a prog band, though. More than
Really?
anything. Yes.
I don't know. I got a friend of mine. That's the only band he likes. He's been to all their concerts. Like
There's
30 some
got
times.
to be other bands everybody
Eric
likes.
Leifson, Geddy Lee, and Neil Peart, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's the only band, except for the Beatles, that I know all the names of the members. And because they stayed in the band for a long time, and they synced well together, which is kind of amazing.
Yes, the first guitar player was really ill, even when he was young, and that's why he had to quit. The first drummer that they had, and he had their first album, Working Man, was another drummer, and he got sick. But not to get off the topic.
Well, Neil was considered one of the greatest drummers, right? Except for Led Zeppelin. What was his name?
John Bonham.
Yeah.
John Bonham. But that Zeppelin, they were all those groups back in the late 70s, late 60s, early 70s. They were all blues based. I mean, that's what they, just some of them just drove it a little harder. You had Deep Purple, even Black Sabbath was more of a blues based band, but they took it to the limit. So
Take it to the limit one more time.
that wasn't quite the bluesy band to me, but I don't know why I like the Eagles, but I'm not a lover of the
Really?
Eagles. Yes, I'm not a
Well,
lover.
today I was playing ping pong with a bunch of guys, and Take It Easy came on. And I said, this is one of my favorite songs. Take it easy. And I was singing it to my grandkids the other day. It's a girl, my lord. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a good look at me. Take it easy. I just love that line. Winslow, Arizona.
Yep.
So I love that song. It's probably my top 10 song of all time. Plus, the message. Take it easy.
My brother and sister-in-law, they have pictures of themselves standing on that corner.
Standing on the corner of
Winslow, Arizona. Yes.
It was a mighty fine place to be.
So
Well, I had to say the top 10 bands of all time. Eagles are up there. No.
they're outside of 10, but they're up there, but they're outside of 10. There's a lot of groups to me are a lot better. There's a lot of groups that just didn't make it that were really good that just didn't make it. I was a big Emerson, Lake and Palmer fan, and they were actually a blues-based prog band, but a lot of people don't understand that. They did a lot of jazz, and a lot of people didn't understand that.
So you're saying if you start getting into complicated music, you might lose some people? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I used to be in a couple bands, and they would want to play more complicated music, and they wondered why people weren't dancing or getting involved.
Right. That was the biggest problem, even in the 70s
I said,
when
look,
I
we gotta play-
hated disco. I couldn't take it. It was not my style.
Well, I like disco. I mean, jeez. Well, where would the Bee Gees be without disco? Or Donna Summer? Or Cher? I mean, that's what I like about music. Steve and I love to talk music. When we turn this off, we're talking music. And we think, wow, we should be on now. But this is just the way we are. We talk music. We may not know what we're talking about half the time, but we just enjoy it so much. So anyways, I wanted to give you a little fun fact before we head out there. Back in 1957,
1958 was a good year, though.
So when were you born?
58.
Huh. Well, anyways, it was 1962. I had the wrong date. I was thinking your birthday.
Oh, no.
Anyways, Return to Sender was a song that Elvis Presley did. No such zone, he said in the song. They sent a letter out and it came back. Return to Sender. No
What was one of your favorite Elvis songs?
Heartbreak Hotel.
Suspicious Minds was always my favorite song. I just love Suspicious.
Well, anyways, 1962, no such zone. There was no zone, no zip codes back in 1962. They didn't come about until 1963. So when you hear that song, No Such Number, No Such Zone. It's not my favorite. I like Heartbreak Hotel. And that's blues based too. It's this Suspicious Mind. I don't remember that too well. Can you sing that for me, Steve?
No.
We're not singers, but we like to fumble along. So you can't sing any of it. Is that the one that goes ding 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 ding? I don't remember how it goes. But my wife told me when we do this to speed it up. So we have to speed it up. We don't want any downtime. No lulls in the moment.
No.
So, but we're going to finish up because we're having a big lull in the moment. So we're going to get the engineer down there and the makeup guy and a wardrobe and get it set up for the next session. So hit the subscribe button and we hit the like button, right, Steve?
That's right. Hit the like and ringy ding ding on
the
the
bell.
bell.
He always says ringy ding.
Got a ring ding ding.
I told him,
on
I
that
said,
bell?
you need to say ringy ding ding. I said, that's my line.
And adios to everybody out there.
Go Bucks! Ohio State!
Bye.
Bye!